you didn't finish yet, and here you are. You were given a task with the younger one. So how does it feels at that time? Is it you feel that, wow, this is something I have to prove myself that I can do it, I can, you know?
No. I took it as another call to take this responsibility, and I did it joyfully and with some difficulties, but we were not alone. We were in the team of formation, and so it was an experience protected and not just left to ourselves. And so I became priest immediately after the Vatican II. We were very enthusiastic for the renewal, and it was a very exciting moment of my life.
Yeah, because you were the first to witness the Vatican II changes, you know.
Yes. It was not easy because before us, the role of a young priest was very clear what to do, no? But in those years, immediately after the Vatican II, as you know, many things change, so we have to experience new attitude, new approach also to the very difficult situation, because at that time began the contestation, the cultural revolution, and it was a very difficult time. And my bishop asked me to, after 3 years as a vicar of in the parish, to take the guide of the seminarians for 2 years, in the 70, from 70 to 72, with 10 young seminarians. But after 2 years, my bishop sent me to Rome to study in order to open a marriage counseling center in my diocese. Okay. So I came to Rome, and from there my life changed, because many other things happened, and I continued to study. Then I came back to my diocese, but maintaining also the teaching at the Gregorian University and so on.
So what did you take while you were in Rome? What did you finish?
When?
What did you finish in Rome?
I began to study psychology and then canon law.
Okay.
Because it was necessary, these interdisciplinary studies for the good of the church. And then I came back and opened this marriage counseling in my diocese, and in part-time also I taught at the Gregorian University.
So it's a good combination, psychology and canon.
Yes, it is.
But I'm very surprised.
Yes.
Eminence, because you know, I expect you to take up moral theology or let's say philosophy.
Yes.
For to be a psychologist, but it's really the most practical for me, because you know, with your work with the marriage counseling, you need to psychologize the people. You need to understand the concern, the problem. You know, so you must enjoy what you had, you know, studied, and because as a teacher also, you learn by listening from the student with their experience, right?
Sure. It was a very enriching experience, both in teaching, and also I maintain my contact with my diocese, and also gave my support also for the canon lawyers in order to favor the dialogue between canonists and psychologists, especially in the process of nullity of marriages. And so it was interesting, because I became also advocate at the Rota Romana and then at the Segnatura Apostolica. So it was a very rich experience, both on the theoretical level, but also on the practical level.
Yeah, I think so, because you mentioned you were a member of this Rota Romana
Yeah.
and also the Apostolic
Segnatura
Senator.
Apostolica.
What is the difference between these two?
Roman Rota is the tribunal mainly dedicated for the case of nullity of marriages.
Marriage, okay.
And Segnatura Apostolica is the supreme tribunal, especially on the administrative level of problems, of causes. So there are
okay.
different fields of interest.
So this must be a very hard work, you know, because right now this is the concern of the whole world, especially when His Holiness announced that, oh, it's very easy now to nullify marriage. So everybody thought it's that easy. But I think that is, you know, the canon law should answer that, you know, because it's the concern now of married couple, because they thought it now takes 1 week, 2 weeks, you know, but it's not. There's still certain rules to be implemented, right?
Because it is important to keep the values of the Christian marriage, and also to help the people to prepare to it, and if there are failures, to understand what is the truth about the commitment. This is very important, and we discussed very much in the last two synods about the family. And so in few days maybe the Pope will publish the post-synodal document about the marriage and the family.
Yes, yes. I think marriage life comes, it's not very easy. It always encounters challenges. But because of the faith, because of the communication that exists between husband and wife, I think they can make their marriage work. But this is not what is happening with the young people, right?
Yes.
You know, so it's a little bit shocking. How come during the times of your parents, they can really endure the hardship, the, you know, everything. But now we have everything ready for them, yet they cannot last.
A consumistic society and secularism are deceiving, especially young people, in making their choice, and they find it very easy, you know, to choose, but without responsibility, and so the problems are multiplied.
You know, after studying in Rome and then teaching at the Gregorian University, you go back, you know, in the diocese, and then you took up another responsibility there.
As a vicar general.
Vicar general. So you become a bishop. You were appointed then as a bishop.
In 2007. Became a bishop of a town in Piemonte called Alessandria.
Okay.
I stayed there for 5 years when Pope Benedict called me to Rome in order to work at the Curia. The first period for 3 years as president of the Prefettura Affari Economici. And since last year, Pope Francis, because this dicastery of Prefettura Affari Economici was changed in another structure without the cardinal, with a lay person. So he transferred me to this congregation for the Catholic education. And so I'm working in this field, which is very much according to my preparation and my experience.
But I think based on your story, with your experience, you would be better in the family and life, you know. I think that would be best describe you with your experience. Because the economic, you know,
No.
it's not something,
No, I try to resist to this choice of Pope Benedict, but he told me that he wanted a person
he can trust.
Yeah,
I think that's very important.
Because we had technicians in the economical field, but he wanted me as a trusting collaborator, and so I obeyed as usual.
When you become a cardinal, were you shocked? How do you feel when it was announced that you will become cardinal?
It was a surprise for me because I was called suddenly, I believe, to stay in my diocese for the last 10 years before my retirement. But at the middle of the trip, I was called by the Pope to come to Rome in this role which presumes to be cardinal. I can say also another episode, my mother was still alive.
Oh,
She was 93 years old when I was created cardinal, and she was not completely conscious, no? And when
it was
the
announced.
sisters who assisted me told her I was created cardinal, at the beginning she didn't understand or believe. No, it's not true. Then they insisted, and then she called me and told to me, try to be worthy of this new vocation.
That's very interesting, but we will continue our conversation sa pagbabalik po ng Power Tonight with Elvira.